Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
Selma's Morgan Academy student-athlete Caden Tellier passed away after sustaining a critical brain injury during a football game against Southern Academy on Friday. Just an absolutely tragic event there as they kick off college or high school and college football across the country. He was airlifted to UAB following the injury in the third quarter, and his family announced his passing as they expressed gratitude to the support they've received, saying Caden, who was 16 and an organ donor, was known for his kindness and his faith. So a lot there happening. Those students, they obviously canceled a lot of events at that school. A lot of pastors going to be at that school trying to look out for those kids and see what they're going through right now. An entire community is going to be grieving there. Just an absolutely shocking and terrifying event that you did not expect to hear about on a Friday evening of football.
Number 6.
Alabama community colleges and technical colleges have seen their highest enrollment since 2013, with over 170,000 students participating, and that's really, really good. Now, what's driving all of this growth? That's a real good question here. It's workforce training. You're not hearing a lot of stuff about you don't need to go to college in order to make good money, how there's a high demand for skilled workers, and how community colleges and tech schools offer up a role in workforce development. That's happening. The Alabama Community College system attributes this success to the accessible and affordable education in alignment with industry needs, ensuring graduates are job ready. But did you know why Alabama community colleges were started in the first place? I mean, it's Alabama, guys. Grift and graft. That's why it was originally started. But this is very good for everyone involved. It's good. Good. Get ready. Get job ready. Make some money.
Number 5.
We've hit this story harder than almost anyone else here on this program, and the intricate and important details of this story are kind of left out from our mainstream media brethren's headlines. Left-wing transgender activist terrorist Kyle Benjamin Douglas Calvert, good Lord, a 26-year-old from Irondale, was sentenced to jail while the media yawns because the target was a Republican Alabama Attorney General. Yes, he has pled guilty. He hasn't been sentenced yet. Excuse me for that. He is facing 5 to 20 years in jail, which he deserves all 20. Yes, he deserves all 20, and he needs to get that. He needs to get every aspect of it. He placed stickers saying he was an anarchist and all this other stuff on government buildings before setting off a device which he constructed using nails and screws. Again, he is looking at 5 to 20 years, and if he doesn't get 20 years, that's a damn crime itself.
Number 4.
Shamari Figures, Alabama's Democratic nominee for the racially gerrymandered 2nd Congressional District, spoke at the Democratic National Convention last week, highlighting the district's civil rights history, which is, of course, something you want everyone who leaves Alabama to do. Please, leave the state of Alabama and then go spread the word that we used to have a terrible history when Democrats were in control and they were all being racist, right? That's what you want. Well, anyway, his speech drew criticism from Alabama Senators Tommy Tuberville out of Auburn, Katie Britt out of Montgomery, who attacked his support for Biden administration policies. He had worked in both the Biden and Obama administrations, and Tuberville called him, quote, a swamp creature, end quote, and argued that his views could harm Alabama families. And he's probably right about that. Anyone who's supporting Biden and Obama policies, not right for Alabama or anywhere else.
Number 3.
Speaking of Alabama Democrats, they have finally called out one of their biggest enemies. AL.com and Kyle Whitmire. Yes, because their defenses of them are always full-throated and not any less. But for some reason, Kyle Whitmire asked a question, which he was wrong about, and therefore his carrying every drop of Democrat water for the last 2 decades wasn't enough. Whitmire wrongly suggested that Vice President Kamala Harris wasn't going to be on the Alabama ballot, so the Alabama Democratic Party released a statement praising the journalist with the most accurate name in Alabama media, Brian Lyman, a complete liar and scumbag. His Alabama Reflector got praised for getting the story right. Here's what the Alabama Democrats said. To be clear, The Alabama Reflector got the story from both parties and did due diligence in noting that this is standard practice. The issue here is with the original tweet, which did what it was designed to do, whip up anger against the party and its leadership. Yes, the media hates Democrats.
Number 2.
Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, along with 15 other state attorneys general, have joined a lawsuit against the Biden administration's parole in place plan. This plan, another terrible Joe Biden immigration philosophy, says this is all part of, quote, keeping families together, end quote, unless, of course, your family has someone murdered by an illegal immigrant. This plan, with the Department of Homeland Security leading it, allows non-citizen spouses and stepchildren of U.S. citizens to request parole in place, potentially granting over 1 million undocumented immigrants citizenship. The lawsuit seeks to halt the plan, arguing it undermines U.S. immigration laws. Yes, it does. An illegal marrying an American citizen and then being like, but what about your new stepchildren? Shouldn't they be legal now? Oh, come on!
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
This is the big news today. You're going to hear a lot about this. Trump and RFK, they sealed their deal. They sacrificed a whale and a bear, apparently. They rubbed the blood on their bodies. And then they decided that he would support Donald Trump's campaign. RFK Jr. suspended his independent bid for the 2024 U.S. presidential race, endorsed former President Donald Trump in his bid to win this race. Kennedy was polling at about 5%. It's being generous, I think, but that's how they're kind of framing this. At about 5%. Kennedy initially sought the Democratic nomination, but later accused the party of undermining his campaign, calling it a sham primary, which it was. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. It was a sham. It was a scam. Everyone knows that. He also slammed the media, too, which I really like to see. I really like to see them call this out. He said this: the mainstream media was once the guardian of the First Amendment and democratic principles. It's now joined the systematic attack on democracy. So he's got some pretty strong words there. Obviously, the American media not too excited about how all of this is being framed. So, of course, they're trying to make Robert F. Kennedy look weird, which, come on, he is. I mean, let's just be completely honest about what this guy is. But at the same time, this guy people need to understand. He has supporters, and they may not be a huge number of them, but they're passionate, and I think he can motivate them to do what he wants them to do, which is to slide their support to Donald Trump. This could be a big moment in this race. I don't want to oversell it. I get how people feel. I understand. I get it. But this could be a really big deal in this race if he's able to pull that off. So there we go. Lots to talk about, lots to get into. More with you next. You can weigh in, get your thoughts in on the 7 things, or get your questions in for 10 with him at the end of this program. Right here, right now, 866-494-WVNN, 866-494-9866. That, of course, the QC Connects free speech phone lines. You got that right there. You can email me.
You've got mail.
Dale at WVNN.com. That's the DowntownRescueMission.org email inbox. Or text me. ScoutPestControl.com, WVNN Hot Take text line right there at 866-494-WVNN. Get that in right now. We'll get to your questions at the end of the program, get to your comments throughout the show, and we'll be right back.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 things you should be talking about today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.